Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hello, my friends. We are again here on the roof with nice weather around here in Tiruvannamalai. I think some new people are here. So I'm saying again, I have muted everybody. Those who want to speak have to turn on their microphone and after that turn it off again. And I'm also asking everybody to please turn off the camera because it takes less information here and the connection is sometimes a bit shaky. And only those who speak turn on the camera and after that turn it off again. Right, that's the technical stuff. Shall we start right away? Is there anybody who would like to come in immediately?
Hari Om, Werner.
Hello, Maria.
Hi. I just realized I have the filter on. I forgot to turn it off.
So you are in virtual space.
Yes. I was playing with some friends before and I forgot to turn it off.
Yeah, it's all right with the northern lights behind you.
My question, Werner, is about the connection with the gods and goddesses.
Yes.
Because I have like very deep experiences sometimes. It feels very magic, like a beautiful connection. Definitely, it's like the child in myself just loves the stories, loves the images. Very sweet. And then there is the rational side. And this morning in meditation, I was experiencing it very clearly. The heart looking at the picture of the Tridevi and Trimurti, just very happy to see them, the images.
Yeah.
And then the brain going, this doesn't make sense. What is all this about? And so my question is, if you could speak a bit about it, because I'm sure you have experiences. And
God with form or without form?
Yes.
Right. Of course, being brought up in Europe with the Christian background, then this all looks very suspect. All these gods, all these forms. As it's very clearly stated there in the tradition, in all the three Semitic traditions, that God is formless. Okay, they don't give a form, but they give very much character to God. I mean, in the Old Testament, God is described as jealous and very angry. So one has to be careful how to deal with God. But God is formless, and yet God is expressing itself in all the forms. Everything in manifestation is an expression of that same divinity. So there is absolutely nothing wrong if that is according to one's mental makeup, if it's resonating, if there is something happening when one connects with a form of God, then it's perfectly valid to connect with God like this. And deep down, always there is the awareness, but it's an expression of something that has forms, millions of forms, myriads of forms, and has no form. Something that has no characteristics and has all the characteristics. The essence is so totally abstract that you can absolutely nothing say about it. And for many, many people, it's easier to have something to hold on to, like as a channel to connect with that unspeakable. If there is a response in your heart when you look at these forms and you communicate with those forms, absolutely nothing wrong in that. It's not that one is better than the other. The form leads you to the formless, and if you connect with the formless, eventually you become aware that all the forms are also all right. Ramakrishna was often asked, is God with form, is God without form? And he kept on telling, God is with form, God is without form. And previous, when I was just intellectually on my Advaita approach, I thought, yes, he said like this, rather for the babies, that they also have something. And later I understood, no, he exactly really meant what he said. There's no difference, formless God or God with form. The Hindus have so many forms, but deep down they know, okay, this form is a representation of what they call Brahman, which is just a word for something that you cannot put the word on. And if often for Westerners that may sound strange and look strange, but also many Westerners, they have quite an affinity with forms. And if that affinity is there, that helps you to open your heart, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Then you can tell your intellect, you keep quiet and open your heart.
Yeah, that's the encouragement I needed to hear. Thank you.
Don't think that that's somehow on a lower level or something. If you feel to connect with that mystery of existence through, and the form helps you, then don't hesitate.
I have the sweetest memories when I went to India for the first time many, many years ago. And I remember the image of Ganesha, the emotion of seeing the image of Ganesha when I arrived, and how much I enjoyed the many deities that appeared in the streets and in the temples, and everything seemed normal and there was no conflict between the many. That was very, very healing for me, that experience.
Nice. And you don't have to now artificially create a conflict in your mind. And if from the upbringing the conflict comes, like idol worship, no good, then you can shut that down and say, no, it's all one. And in that all oneness, there are so many forms. Okay.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to talk? Please come in. Okay, then I'm talking about the question Marie sent me. She said she won't be with us during the satsang, but if I could talk about the subject. And the thing is, she has her routine, and then it can happen if she's late, then she gets up and struggles and stresses to quickly prepare herself and do her meditation. And then one day, yesterday, she suddenly understood, hey, look what I'm doing, and relaxed and brought the attention to the moment. And it felt so totally true and real, and there was no reason to stress and to hurry and to make a fuss simply because the program could not be fulfilled. But then she says, but in her life, it happens all the time. She slips in that, always stressing about what comes next or being totally caught up and forgetting about simply being in the present and relaxing. Then what to do about that? Well, that's the job. The habit of functioning like this is so strong. In society, nearly everybody functions like this. Nearly everybody is always stressing, worrying about the next moment, worrying about what I have to do the rest of the day, worrying about what I have to do next week, and then being totally tense in the present moment. It's very simple how to treat it. Find a way when you become aware, when you remember, to simply bring the attention back to the timelessness and relax. And do that consequently. As long as we don't remember, of course, nothing can be done. But as soon as the memory comes, as soon as we become aware, oh, my mind is again everywhere, and I'm getting all tense and stressed, then don't hesitate, don't wait for something, don't think first I'm finishing this, then I will take care of that. Like that, we are never connecting. Whatever you are doing, or if you're doing nothing, wherever you are, whether you are alone, whether you are with people, whether you are silent, or whether you are talking, in the midst of your action, when you become aware that you are stressing about what is to come or what has happened, but not connecting with that which is alive, the now, then bring the attention back at that moment and relax. Learn to relax in that. Learn to relax in the timelessness of the now. Learn to relax in that current of life. There's no other way but to do that again and again and again. And we can start the day with the intent that we want to remember. And then a lot of time may in between pass, and when we become aware, so much time has again passed, I was totally involved, I was full of tension, I didn't have a really conscious moment, then that is not a reason to start to berate oneself and say, oh, I'm no good, and after all these years, it's still happening. There we actually again totally in the story. No, just see how it is, and the moment you become aware, you turn the attention 180 degrees. Come back home, here now, again and again and again. And gradually it's becoming easier. Gradually it happens spontaneously, effortlessly. Sometimes short, sometimes longer, but then the old habit takes over again, and we are again in that worrying mood, in that creating tension mood, and there we just do it again. There we just go again in one way or another. I said there is no other way but to do that again and again and again, to come back, to connect. But how we are doing it, there may be so many ways as there are people. Everybody can find their own way, their own easiest way, pick up their easiest help, how to connect in the present. People who do self-inquiry might simply ask, but who is thinking all this? Who is worrying now? Why? Who am I? I am. And I'm right back here. A devotee might just shift the attention from all that worries in the mind to the simple awareness of the divine presence now, and relax in it, in security, in comfort. Or if you are more on a yogic approach, you may just shift the attention to the simple fact of breathing. Consciously breathe in, breathe out, and relax. And you are here, now. How we are doing it, you can do it in any of what I said, and in all variations of combinations, and one can devise one's own tricks, but the basic movement is the same. Detaching our attention from what we are locked on in our mind and bring it back to the source, bring it back to that which makes the experience possible. I hope your question is answered, Marie. It's just a job we have to do. It's not even a difficult job, but it has to be done. As long as the habit is there of always getting scattered all over the place, or always getting locked in what has happened, in what could happen, being all tense about it, somehow that job we have to do. Nobody is going to take it. We can get all the guidance, we can get a lot of support, energetic, emotional, intellectual, but no God, no guru is going to do that job. Each one has to do it for themselves. Become aware how we get lost in our dreams, in our hypnosis of our world experience, and bring it back to the source, to that which makes the experience possible. Again, again, and again. And gradually it's getting easier, and it's getting more natural, and eventually your attention may simply dive so deep into that you don't lose it anymore. It's not difficult to do, but it has to be done, and we have to remind ourselves, because the tendency is out of habit to forget it all the time. That's that much we don't get around in one way or another. Okay, let's leave it at that. Is there somebody else who would like to come in? Please come in.
Good morning, Werner.
Hello, Woody.
Hi, I would like to continue with what you have said now and ask you about the feeling of effort.
Yes.
I can find myself in a situation where I am relaxed and staying in a, let's say, in the observer feeling of being in this situation. And then more often it's a feeling of a very rapid movement of my attention to be involved in something. And the need to come back, or the wish to come back to this relaxed situation, sometimes it's taking a lot of effort for myself. And the question is if I should swim again the current of the river, I should let myself float in the river and get to the shore safely.
Or whether you have to do something about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm finding myself doing something always.
Right. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that doing. There is a lot of talk about effortlessness, that it should be effortless. But of course, your true nature is totally effortless. And if your attention is rooted in that, the question of effort doesn't really arise. Then we can make playful effort externally to do this, to do that. But it's a play. But as long as we are always slipping out of that conscious connection, then actually unconsciously we are making a lot of effort to create that sense of separation, which is an illusion, but still it's there as an experience. And we invest a lot of energy to keep it alive. And as long as we are doing that conscious effort, that unconscious effort of creating our scenario and being lost in it, then we don't get around to make at least that little effort to remind ourselves, hey, look where you're going again, what you're doing, and turn around. And we can make maybe for a moment a stern effort to bring it back again, but then relax. Or you can from the beginning just give you a tip, hey, come on, breathe consciously, relax, and you're right there. But that little effort, we don't get around. There is no point of talking about effortlessness as long as we are anyhow unconsciously making efforts all the time. And those unconscious efforts there create all the pain and the trouble and the suffering we want to avoid. So we are very well advised to make that little effort of reminding ourselves, look what's going on, and turn the attention back. We cannot get around that effort. As long as we are making the other effort in the opposite direction, then we have to make that little effort of connecting. It's not a terrible effort that we have to somehow try to break through something, like it's often imagined, that I have imagined for a long time in my spiritual journey. I have to make effort and break through. I want to break through something, but actually what needs to be done is to learn not to do anything. But we are doing all the time. So as long as that doing goes on compulsory, there is a little doing, a little effort needed to remind ourselves to catch the attention on the level where it's busy and bring it back to the source.
I find myself that if it's happened during practicing meditation, that my thoughts are catching something, so the ability to return back is doable,
yeah,
and can be even affordable without any effort.
Yeah.
But in my daily life, when I found myself dragged into a situation,
yeah,
and feeling unpleasant in this situation, then for myself, it's usually this effort is really a lot of energy is going there. And the question is if I can live it. And as I said, draft in the current of the river is will bring me to the shore, will bring me to the safe shore, or I should make something different.
Right, but that river may also have very nasty turns and you keep on banging your head left and right. And if you want to avoid it, you maybe better ride that river instead of being helplessly swept along.
Yeah.
I mean, these are images. It's not that you have to be now create a new tension, that you have to make that effort all the time at all costs. Try to have a playful mood about it, a playful attitude that, got me again completely, and then just at that moment, relax. Breathe and relax. And maybe then you remain just a little moment, and there you go again. But you know, that little moment is very precious. And if you do it again and again, that develops its own momentum, its own power, that gradually is getting stronger than the power of the habit of pushing us always so completely in the situations that we are getting lost in it all the time. And then eventually, gradually, you can learn to be in conscious touch here, now, and be in the midst of a very active situation where it pulls out, where it needs your attention, that you can do your things properly, and still you are somehow aware that you can relax all the time and not build up tensions and be in touch. So try also in your day-to-day life, when you catch yourself, to keep a bit playful mood about it, and give attention to relaxing, not by force bringing something about. And then it doesn't look so much like a terrible effort.
Yeah, it's a good advice. And if I can ask it,
relax your legs. When you become aware, relax your legs.
I'm making a lot of effort for that. I would like to ask you.
You just give the impulse, and it's relaxing at least something. Anyhow, yes, you would like to ask something else.
Can you say a few things about integrity?
Integrity of what?
Yes. Well, I think that in my life, looking on something that looked for me as that create inside of me the feeling of safe, the feeling of relaxation, make what I'm observe as something that it's look real to me. Mm-hmm. Or when I deal with people, the sense of feeling that I'm looking on somebody that is giving me the feeling of integrity.
Yeah.
And I'm very easily judge things according to this feeling.
Right. This is good, this is bad, this person is nice, this person is not nice, like that.
But it looks sometimes like in a higher level that the ones that are not falling inside of this box of integrity, I should leave them outside of my life.
Yeah. I mean, you cannot always avoid it. Even if you try to do that, then there will be always so many situations that don't fit in that box of integrity. And you cannot avoid it that they happen, but then you learn not to resist against the fact that this is happening. Then, okay, this right now, this is on the program. If I resist, it just gets worse. It's not changing the situation. If I accept the situation, I simply deal with it, situation goes. And then you have the full right to choose your way, that you rather make contact with people that somehow help you to connect, that you feel more comfortable, than rather with people where you don't feel comfortable. Nothing wrong with that. But in spite of our choosing, many, many times it happens that it doesn't work. That a lot of other things come into the picture that we don't exactly desire. And there it's good not to be wasted time in resisting and be judgmental and think, okay, that's what is on the program. I just deal with it and let it go. And then it doesn't leave a trace. It's just a moment of unpleasantness that we have to face. Okay, we deal with it, and if we don't resist, it's not a problem. It's simply becoming a problem if we make it into a problem in our head.
Yeah. I really appreciate that.
As long as we are living in this world, it's going to be like this.
I thought it will disappear.
It's going to be heaven, and always harmonious and beautiful and pleasant. I'm sure there are many worlds like this where life is like that, but not here. where your body is, there is your experience, and that body has to face the limitations. and have to face the situations where we find ourselves. A moment it's pleasant, a moment it's unpleasant, a moment it's harmonious, a moment it's disharmonious. We cannot change that, but we can change how we deal with it, and then it's not a problem. And incidentally, the more we learn to flow with it instead of resisting, the more it has also an influence that things have the tendency to fall in place easier. But even then, even if things easily arrange themselves, still there will be many situations where we just have to confront unpleasantness, situations that we would not have liked, but still they come, so we deal with them, they go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Anybody else who would like to come in? Please come.
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Klaus.
I really enjoyed the last where you left here, and because I think for me that peace has always been the goal of this practice, about finding this eternal peace. So can you elaborate if this is just illusion, or because you were talking, okay, life is happening. For me now, it seems like it's been a week where it's been a lot of things to do with my work, so I need to sleep for 2-3 hours more in the morning because I'm tired. But this is just something which you have to go through in life. Like it's that feeling or that thought around eternal peace and neutrality, and just dropping this suffering. Is it just illusion?
No, our creating suffering all the time is because of illusion. We are hypnotized in our role to be the role that we are playing. And then with that identification becomes all the likes and dislikes, which creates a lot of resistance, which creates tensions, which makes us suffer. And we don't have to do that anymore. There is an aspect in you that is eternally silent. Even if we are totally engaged and work and do so many things and are stressed, there is something that, like at the center of a whirlpool, that is not moving. And we can learn to consciously connect with that. And then that peace is there. In the beginning, it may sometimes happen, and then zoop, we slip away again. And then it happens again, and then we slip away again. But it's still there, even if we are not aware of it. And there is the possibility that we learn to connect with that and don't lose it anymore. That doesn't mean after that we cannot be active, that once you find that center, then you can just sit and not move anymore. Some people may do that, but you can also be fully active and still have that awareness, okay, this is on this momentary appearance plane, in that manifestation, all these activities is there, but actually I'm not affected by it. I play my role in it, and yet I'm not really part of it, in the sense that I'm one figure in that drama amongst so many other figures, amongst so many other characters. But that character is just like a channel through which we connect on that active plane, but something in you is totally unaffected, unmoved by that. So it's not something that eventually will be there It's there all the time, simply we are not aware of it. And we can bring that awareness back. And the more you are capable of connecting with that, the less suffering can hook into you. Suffering comes about it because we are not aware of that. We lost consciously, we cannot really lose it, but consciously in our conscious experience, we lost that touch with that and then identify with whatever is happening in our material experience and there create all the tensions about, well, the usual stuff that comes, the fears of not being good enough, the stress of not achieving, and with that we create all the suffering. Resisting against the fact of the experience instead of accepting and being aware, no matter what the experience, deep down, I'm totally unaffected by it.
Yeah, that's almost like it's like a almost like a trial or a learning in this also, because it can be like I look back to some situations where I used to react and where it used to be hooks, and then it's like I see that those hooks are maybe they are questions, and even they might even be gone, or they're just really small hooks, so they don't hold any big fish any longer.
Right. Yes, it should be there, it should be natural, but we have lost that naturalness. And then it's like learning a new art. And like every art that we are learning, in the beginning we do all kinds of funny things, and gradually it's getting easier. And if we keep on, we can become a master of that art.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a metaphor, but it's a bit like that, as if we had to learn something new, something that actually should be there naturally.
Yeah.
And in that learning process, there we can improve that things that have been totally sweeping us off the floor, then gradually you can deal with it and they touch you less and less.
Yeah. Yeah, because even that feeling of being overwhelmed is also aspect of this. So it's just like it becomes less serious than before. You know, you can get the feeling of being overwhelmed, but you know that it's nothing to do with it. You don't have to do anything to make it pass it. You know, it will pass if you just connect or stay as the self. So it's easier and easier to live with all the experiences in life.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
If anybody else wants to come in, you are welcome.
Hello, namaste ji.
Hello, Manuela.
I have a question. I mean, I think I already asked you, but probably I have to ask again. I'm still hesitating. How can I explain? So let's say I know if I recognize the truth, there's nothing to work out in the body, mind, relative ego. But my question is, or I'm hesitating, as long as I'm stuck in and identified in my shit, there, or let's say there is a blockage which comes every time. So do I have to work it out, or do I say no, it's just a working on the relative ego, which is of course not necessary, that I know, but still I'm thinking, as long as I'm not permanently in the here and now and I'm stuck with some blockages, do I'm working on it or not? I remember that you told once that when you have been in the Amma ashram sitting in your cave, that there were also stuff and you worked it out.
Yeah.
as a member. So, but I'm still hesitating. I know, of course, it's not necessary. So, but still, I'm stuck in stuff. So,
Yeah.
do you know what I want to say or what I want to ask?
Right. And you said, I know, of course, it's not necessary. And actually, it's not quite true what you are saying. You heard that, you believe that, but it's not your experience. So you cannot say that you know that, but it sounds nice and you believe that. No, you are perfectly right. There is a lot of that teaching going on now, that after all, this is only of the mind, this is only in relativity, this is not the real stuff, so don't you worry about it. Of course, that doesn't change reality. Reality is reality, and it's not affected by all that. But as long as our attention is caught up in all this relative stuff, and we are creating pain, and we are fed up with suffering, we are fed up with being in pain all the time, then we are very well advised to work on it, to remove it. At least we somehow have to do that job to some extent, to clean out the house to some extent. And then sometimes it may just happen not from our volition, that it's a big piece just drops off without you doing anything. And there you, and then you go again and work on it whenever things are creating troubles, creating tension, and learn not to do that anymore. It's not a terrible effort to achieve something. The effort is to become aware how we are creating unnecessarily pain and tensions and suffering, and then learn not to do that anymore. And there is no point of then saying, but it's not reality, it's still the reality of your experience. And if you are fed up, if you don't want to create pain and strain and suffering, then you very well can do something about it.
Yeah. I can say from my experience, I did that for a long time. I learned a lot of interesting methods, which all work, or which some of them work very well. But
Yeah.
then I was really sick of it, because I realized, okay, I work on something and then something new is coming up. So it's a never-ending jungle. And then I really stopped it, and I say, and I have the experience rarely, but if I really recognize the truth, then the rest doesn't matter, but it's lasts only for a few seconds or
Right.
something.
Mm.
So I'm still in between. You say that's the experience of the self creating this experience with suffering and but my question is still, if I'm working more on being in the present, being in the now, then this becomes more dominant,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest not. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I worked on stuff long time, but now a lot of stuff plops up again. So
Right.
and I'm suffering with it. So yeah.
Anyhow, you don't have to go on in search for it. It's not that you have to go and dig, and there is something more to work on, and there is something more to work on. That is really a jungle, and there is no end to it. It's amazing. You can always find more and more and more. No, do what you have said. Be in the present, connect with that as good as you can. And then those things that needs to be worked on, they come all by themselves. You don't have to go to look for them. And if something comes up and you are capable of seeing it and drop it, then drop it. Then don't think if something comes up, okay, I have to go for that. If you can drop it, drop it. If you a few times try to drop it and it's just too insistent, then you can surrender to the fact, okay, there is still too much power locked in that mechanism, and I have to go into it. I have to open up to it, and in one way or another learn to release that energy, that it stops having that power.
Thank you very much.
So basically connect and be here now at ease, at peace, as good as you can. And then the trouble who come and are insistent, then we have to attend to them. And even if we think, oh, no, oh damn it, I have been doing that long ago already, and now it comes again. Okay, you may have done some work long ago, but obviously somewhere there was still enough energy locked into it that it's still capable of creating problems now. And then there's no point in saying, oh, I have done it already earlier. So now it comes, so deal with it.
Thank you very much.
Wish you well, Manuela.
Yeah.
Ariom.
Hello.
Is there anybody else who would like to come in?
I have a question. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm new to the space.
Yeah. Christina,
Christina.
come. Yeah. Hello, Christina.
Hello. I guess it's along the same lines as the question Manuela had. When I ask myself why I'm afraid to totally let go, the answer it's always the same. It's always like, I'm concerned that I'm not going to be able to function. And that everything's going to fall apart, and I have to have a job, and I have to live. And part of me knows that it's not true. How do I build the trust? I don't know what it is, but how do I build that in me? Because I feel like it's right there, but I can't. Yeah.
And you are perfectly right. It's right there. It's the closest. It's not something that somehow for most of the people is far, far away, and after a long struggle we go getting closer. It's that which makes your experience possible right now. And yet the habit of functioning from a perspective of a me, a separate person, is so strong that that fear is there. If I let go, then it's like annihilation. What's there after that? And how could I possibly function? Well, I can tell you for sure, you can function much better. If not always the personal concern comes in it. Am I going to be successful or not be successful? Are they appreciating me or not appreciating me? What are they talking about me now? And do they like me? Don't they like me? And all the stuff that goes on is taking so much out of that beautiful creativity that is there to be expressed and manifest. If we don't do that, it's so much easier. But still, you're right, that fear is there. But if I let my known way of functioning go, then maybe I disappear. Then I'm not more there. Then what's that? Then I'm losing everything. But we don't lose anything. We lose only that which creates trouble. How do you gain trust? By consciously attempting it. When you become aware how much you are tense in that, then that letting go is very much a thing of relaxing. So when you become aware that, okay, it's right here, but I'm all tense, there is that fear, then don't fight against that fear. Let that fear come. It's also an experience. Observe what it is doing to you right now. Start on the easiest level. What is it doing to your body? That fear of letting go. And you will see that invariably we're creating a lot of tensions. Physically also. Then relax on the physical level. And that helps you to relax energetically. and that helps you to relax mentally, and that helps you to relax intellectually. And so that's the way of letting go, of just relaxing instead of holding on to. And then sometimes it may happen that it's just not there, that continuous worrying thing there about the future, about the past, about am I successful or not, and you just feel at ease, at peace, and everything seems perfectly fine and easy. And then the mind starts again, and there we go again, and the fears come back. But if I let go, what's happening? You just relax again. And by doing that again, the trust comes that out of the glimpses that we are getting, that after all, it's not that something is totally missing. In contrary, suddenly everything feels so easy and natural.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I definitely, I feel that I have those glimpses. It's everything is harmonious, things function. It's beautiful. You know what when you said that in the beginning about, yeah, the you know what others think of you, your success, actually that's exactly what the fear is not being able to function, is not about a fear I have for myself and a place to live. It's actually more about the other.
All right, if I'm letting go, then maybe I'm not more properly functioning in society and get the necessary feedback of approval from the others.
Mm.
Right. It's possible that you change your behavior if you are not more building your usual armor around you, and some people may not approve, but actually you don't care one bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
Your well-being is not at all dependent on the feedback that you are getting from people, from the world, from the whole situation. You are the source of your happiness. It's bubbling out of yourself. You are complete in yourself. And the more you live like this, the more joyously you simply express that inner joyousness, that inner creativity. And no matter what you are doing in this world, some people like it and some people don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that you have to be afraid. If you let go, then you just become an incompetent, and then the others will not be happy about you. But it is possible that some things you won't do anymore because you become aware. I'm simply doing it not because I feel like doing it. It's not a natural manifestation from myself, but I'm simply doing it to get a certain feedback, to please people, and that you may less do after that. And if they are less pleased with it, then so be it. It doesn't hurt you. You don't care anymore about that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Hari Om, Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to come? Please come.
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Nelly.
I have a question. Some satsangs ago, you had a discussion with Udi about people who struggle so much and feel a lot of pain. And you said that some divine beings choose this way to get more intensity from this experience. And regarding to that, I thought about Jesus. I thought, why did he choose so strong experience for himself? If I don't know, but as I understand, he was realized already. And why did he need this a strong experience if he already was completed to go through this all these things.
Okay, when we have been talking about it, then we have been talking about people, let's say ordinary people, people in the mainstream of the society. Jesus is a bit another category. And him being like that may choose to go through such a thing because he sees it fulfills a purpose. It brings something on this level, it pulls down a tremendous energy on this level in this world that after that is beneficial. You can also ask, like Ramana Maharshi, why would he choose to sit like that, to sit intensely for 25 years like nobody can sit? And in the beginning, when he was in the temple, his body was tortured by ants and by so many and boys throwing stones at him. Why should he choose a thing like this? Well, he chose his life and his intensity and his intense sitting, because that being that is doing that is the first who benefits, gets something very intensely profound out of it, but simultaneously everybody else also benefits.
Nice.
So beings like Jesus may decide that they go through an extreme story like that because it does something in this creation that is very beneficial, that brings an energy into motion that can be very helpful in the long run.
Okay, I see.
I'm not claiming that I know exactly what Jesus wanted to do. He's another category, but it's not somehow for nothing that they are doing that.
Yes, I see.
But it's also one wrong idea is there coming from the Christian tradition, from the Jewish and Christian and Muslim tradition, from all the three Semitic religions, that if you truly want to do something good, you have to sacrifice yourself, and it's totally for the others. But no, there are no others. We are all connected, and the being who is doing that actually is the first who is benefiting from what they are doing. But the more they are connected consciously with the rest, the more everybody else also benefits.
Okay, I see. Yeah. And I have another question regarding to this. Recently, I had a discussion with my friend, and she worries a lot about all these dogs and cats in Russia now, because it's so frozen and it's so cold, and she feels a lot of pain that they have no food and may die from this cold weather. And I thought about this, if animals suffer, I mean that it's not in vain, like you say, in people. So when people have sufferings, you say that it's not in vain. We get this experience for get some benefits and so on. And what about animals? What do you think about them? If they
Right. Okay, it functions somewhat differently on the animal level, and I must say I have never so completely delved into it that I know too much details about that. But it's also for them. They are not going through that thing in vain. It's still also in their level, in their way, they're also getting something out of it. And animals do not suffer like people. Of course, they feel the pain.
Yeah.
The more developed an organism is, the more developed the possibility is there that they feel the pain. But they don't have that mental thing that humans have of then after that completely resist against the fact and fall into that victim mode and think it's terrible what is happening to me. They somehow deal with a painful situation. I've seen here once a cat. It was so thin. There was really skin and bones. And she hardly could walk. And she just, with lots of pain, was dragging herself in a place, laying down. And the moment she lay down, there was that beautiful expression of feeling at ease, at peace. It's not that the animals feel that suffering that we keep in the head as humans and go on and on and on, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They, of course, they feel the pain, and it's unpleasant for them to feel the pain like for humans, but they don't suffer in the sense as humans can suffer, that we create that mental resistance and that yin in the mind. They just deal with the situation. When the situation is over, they let go. The burden falls off. Right, but there is no point in worrying for them if your friend feels it's her duty to go around and feed those cats and dogs and bring them into warmer places. Then by all means let her do it, but it's not that you have to think you should do that. If you feel like doing so, fine. If you meet the situation and you feel, there I have to give a helping hand, do so, but you don't need to worry about them.
Yeah, I see. Okay, I see. And what do you think about animals? Do they become humans in other lives or not? How does it go on?
Right. The whole reincarnation theory goes like this. Some start on the plant kingdom, some start on the mineral level, that first you are a mineral, then you become a plant, and a lower plant, a higher plant, then a lower animal, and slowly climb up the ladder to a higher animal, and then finally you become human. It doesn't function like that. I mean, consciousness in a way evolves like that. But there is a being that is in a timeless space, and that being projects part of it into a world, in this world, in any world, as a manifestation. Then that manifestation starts to identify with the manifestation and thinks is a separate being. But actually, that I amness in that manifestation is just a reflection of that being that is not really incarnated, that is only projecting part of itself into this manifestation. And that being can project also an animal form, sure, but usually it's rather picking out more sophisticated challenges, not getting again into other challenges, but an animal form can be projected from the same being that after that projects as human, but that being may also not project into this world. But God knows how. There are myriads and myriads and myriads of worlds and spaces where one can get experience. So the whole reincarnation theory has not to be taken too literally. It's closer to the truth than either you are a good girl and then you go to heaven, or you are a bad girl, and then you go to hell, and that's the end of the story. So the reincarnation theory is certainly closer to reality than that first theory, but still it's a theory trying to give an explanation for the human mind about things that are not so easily explained.
I see, okay.
But if you ask in the sense, like people say people have no, animals have no soul, it's of course nonsense. Of course they are beings. If you look at cats, the one cat is in character very much different from another cat. They are beings also. And so if they can manifest as cat, then they also can manifest as human.
So there are some divine beings of human, and there are divine beings of animals, maybe, or not?
No, that divine being you are is way beyond human. And just plays human in order to gain experience, and that same being may also play cat to gain some cat experience. It's not the divine cat being and the divine human being and the divine God knows what being. What you are really is way beyond anything that we can imagine. So we don't have to now start to create hierarchies and imaginations about your real self, your real being. And that real being can project no matter on what level, for some experience or other.
Okay, thank you, Werner.
You are welcome. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Tara asks me whether it's on her side, on my side. She lost twice the contact and the sound is not clear. I think if that was on my side, everybody would experience like this. And as I see from your reaction, you can hear me okay, and you can see me okay. Can anybody answer to that, please?
Yes, we can hear and see you.
Yeah. So I think,
Yes.
Tara, I think it's on your side, the bad connection. Because usually when the connection is getting too bad, then I'm kicked out of the room for a moment. Okay. Is there anybody else who would like to come in? Please come.
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Lalita.
Yeah. I want to connect to my question from last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, nearly the same.
Oh. You have to turn your sound a bit down of your device, then it won't happen.
Yes.
Okay. Can you still hear me?
I hear you, I see you.
Oh.
But something.
Yeah, it's recording the sound, your sound when you talk, and then it comes back.
No, I had another.
Do you have a headphone?
No, I don't have.
Can you just turn the volume down?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Oh, now it's working.
Now it's working, yes.
Yeah.
So my question is, okay, we say the life is a dream, is an illusion, is Maya.
Mm-hmm.
And when we sleep, then what is this? What is real?
Now your question is, what is real when we sleep?
Not exactly. Last time I was very sad, you know, when I wake up, oh, this is, yeah. How to say? While dreaming is so wonderful. Like last night, I was in Tiruvannamalai, I was in Yogi Ram Surat Kumar Ashram, and so beautiful, beautiful. And then, okay, I wake up, and I mean, it's beautiful, but many masters say that life is a dream. It's also an illusion. Then what is real?
Right.
Is it the dreaming, or is it this?
Right. Which one is really the dream and which one is reality?
Yes.
Actually, it's funny. I remember I have asked that question as a little boy to my mother, waking up in the morning and said, hey, now in the night I was dreaming, and then I will wake up and the dream is finished. But when I was dreaming, it looked very real. And now I'm talking to you, and how can I know that this is not a dream? Yeah. Well, my mother thought, you pinch yourself, then you know that you are awake.
Yes.
But if you pinch yourself in your dream, you also feel the pain.
Yes.
Right. They are not exactly the same. This long, drawn-out waking dream and the dream in the night, but they are not that much different. And while you are experiencing the night dream, it is real as an experience, momentary. When you wake up, you say, oh, it was not real. It's just a dream. It's projected from my mind, and it was there for a moment, and after that it's gone. But while experiencing, it's still real as an experience, because you are there to experience. And this one is actually not exactly the same, but it is quite similar. It is momentarily real, because you are here to experience it. It's like a long, drawn-out dream that goes over years, and we somehow jolt out of it for a moment when we go to sleep, and boom, there we come back and continue the same dream. It is not real ultimately, but it is not non-existent. It's real as an experience, but the past is not real as the same in the same way. It's just a memory that we are keeping in the mind, and as that is all right. But the mistake is that we are making in this dream reality that we give the past a reality that it does not deserve. We hold on emotionally to the past, and then we project the future, and we hold on emotionally to that projection of the future, and that gives this world an appearance of being totally real, so concrete. But actually, we are creating that in the mind. Here, now, that's the one point where you are touching reality. All else is in the mind. It's a total different category right now, and even a little moment before. When we started to talk, it's already a memory. It doesn't have that flow, that touch, that bubbling intensity of life like now, that timelessness of the present. And whatever is going to come, we can imagine it's bound to happen, it's hanging there, but it's different. It's only now that you are touching reality. And now it's real as an experience. But then it's gone, and we hold on to that experience as reality instead of letting it go and accept it's just a memory. It's not more real. So you cannot really say which one is real, the dream in the sleep or this, they are both experiences. And when you are experiencing it, then that experience is real at that moment. But then after that, it's just a memory and it's a dream. And so is this world. It's after that, it's just a memory. It doesn't exist anymore. It's simply because we are sticky and hang on to the past and feed our vital force into that memory and create emotions hanging on to that memory. And there we give that past a reality it does not deserve, which is an illusion. It's just a memory.
Yeah, for example, that, I mean, we judge or we say this was better or that, no, like this, but how to live in this real state all the time, even when you wake up. I mean, that for me, it means that I have to be in meditation, or I have to, not I have to, but to be connected all the time in that, or chanting all the time, or yeah, be in that state that I'm in the heart and not in the mind.
Yeah. I mean, this is basically what is. You are all the time in your essence, in that. It's not something that we truly have lost. Simply on the superficial dream reality, we think we have lost it, we feel we have lost it, we feel like separate and a very limited small person in this game of the world. Now, what to do about it? Right, the way is to remind yourself to connect. And when you wake up and there is sadness, one way of connecting is by accepting, okay, there is sadness, and you watch that sadness. You watch what it is doing to your experience right now, physically, energetically, emotionally, intellectually, and learn to relax. And then you become aware there is one aspect in you that is not affected by it, that is not so concerned whether your experience is now a joyous, pleasant one or a sad one or whatever, because you, that which experiences, that which makes the experience possible is not affected by it. And if you want to get rid of suffering from the circumstances, there's no other way of learning to connect with that. Sure, but you don't have to make it into now a big task that you put in the mind and then you punish yourself whenever you are not succeeding, but you go about it playfully. When you catch yourself, oh, there has been again so much time I was completely off, then so what? Got me again, it's already past. It's not more real, but now you connect and relax in a joyous, playful way. And then gradually it's becoming easier and easier. If we start to think of it as, oh, it's a terrible task to do, always connect, it's a big burden, then of course it sounds very terrible and it's not easy to do. But if we just learn to playfully just remind, there I got me again completely, but now I connect. And even if we connect consciously, just little moments like this, it's very precious and it's gradually building up and becoming more and more natural and easy.
Yeah, for me, this question came up that, like in all that circumstances, I mean, this is also just a dream. It's not true. I mean, it's a game, you know?
Right.
And yeah, then, I mean, I also can lay down and sleep. And what is the difference?
Right. At least you have happy experiences there.
Play this game, this Corona game.
Right. But anyhow, we don't come into this game as a mistake. Somehow that being that projects this person into this game came consciously in this game to gain experience. So better than resisting being in the game, accept and go about it as playfully, as joyously, as easily as you can. Okay.
Thank you.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to come?
Yeah.
Hello. Ah, hello, Anita.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, I hear you well.
I would like to talk about this world situation. If you have something to say in a way, for me, it's like a few weeks ago, I thought I really feel like meditating more now, because that's the only, for me, that's the only way out. It's the way in somehow.
Yeah.
And it's really, for me, I'm totally fine and I'm calm. I'm watching what is happening and I don't have this trouble of fear or worry anymore, which is great. I just see around me some friends are really struggling and they don't, I mean, they have it inside and sometimes it bursts out that they're going crazy, they can't sleep, and mothers with children, the children going crazy, going depressive. Really, a lot of depression is happening. And yeah, I wonder how to help or what to say. I mean, I cannot say to a child, meditate, or even the friends of mine.
Yeah.
Even the friends of mine, they are on a spiritual path, but still they are pretty much worried and exhausted and can't sleep. Really, that's amazing. I mean, so yeah, I thought maybe it's nice if you say something to them.
Right. The best you can do for them, that you remain yourself at ease, at peace and happy. And then when you have contact, automatically something of that will flow over to them. Even when you think of each other, something will flow over to them that is helpful. Apart from that, you can of course give tips how you have dealt with it and how it has become easier, but only if they really want to hear it. Don't go after them and say, you have to do it like this, you have to do like that, because then it's just, they just get angry and it doesn't help anything. But if they ask you how to deal with the situation, then you can give your tips how you dealt with the situation, and maybe something is resonating and it's helping them too. But otherwise, just make contact, and that very contact will let something of that relaxation that you are feeling now flow over and help them to easier deal with the situation.
And do you have from yourself something to say about what you are observing? And because you sometimes you say it's a great thing also because people are, because they stay at home, they go more in, and so yeah.
Well, if you look just merely on the surface appearance, it seems to be going from bad to worse. But and there is, as you say, there is a lot of depression there. People who cannot deal with such a situation emotionally, and it's pulling them into dark places. But the opposite also is happening. It's really, it has given many people the opportunity to just have again a bit more a look at themselves. People who were estranged in their family, either when they are forced to be together, it's getting worse and it's getting the total catastrophe, but others simply find out how wonderful it is just to be home and be together and play together and do something together instead of always running around like mad and looking to squeeze out some happiness here or there. And many people also think, okay, somehow the old job has gone away, and it's also possible to live and be happy without all that was involved in it, and looking for new ways of expressing themselves. And there is an energy there, really flowing into this world experience that is very supportive, that the people can open up to that and find new ways of being at ease and peace and happy without being so dependent on all the little things that they have been doing before. Both is there. There is a very intense negativity there that is pulling people into dark places, but the other one is also very active. Both are there. And in a way, everybody has from moment to moment always the choice whether we are tripping more to this side or to that side. I think it's not over. It goes on. And it has, I mean, all that stuff that I'm hearing also, I don't want to become now a preacher of anti-vaccine, but the more I hear information what this really is, the more it's likely that there can be very negative influences after that. I still insist, as I said this before once, when we not more were recording and everybody was there, we can also neutralize the negative effects, but it needs already a certain alertness to have it all the ID and to have the courage to do so. So it seems that not only nice things are in stores for us on the world history on the surface, but at the same time, there is also an awakening there, and I'm quite confident in the long run that will take over. But it may be a bit turbulent for some more time. And best for every individual is to really choose not to get sucked into that stream of worries. It's happening also without our worry. And learn to bring the attention back to that which is not affected by it. The more we are doing it, the more you are at ease and peace, and the more you are helping the surroundings to also connect with that nice, with the positive aspect of it, instead of getting sucked into that dark stuff where people suffer. So the best we can do for the world history also. I mean, some people may be in power positions where they can decide and change things, but most of us, we cannot directly change. But the best we can do is to be as centered in that timelessness as good as we can, and let the happiness of existence come up, and don't feel guilty about it because so many people suffer. You do them the best service by being happy and radiating that happiness. Close friends, of course, the connection is stronger, but in a way we are all connected, and it's affecting. Then we can become like little lighthouses that shining there in the darkness that is happening. And the more people are doing, the more that people are doing that, the more other people are inspired without knowing why to do the same. And the more it's tipping the scale on the side of the light instead of darkness. So continue like this, without having too much the idea, now how can I help them? Be yourself and connect. And then when they ask, it comes out spontaneously, whatever you can tell them.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om. I think I'm turning off now the recording. Where is it? Here.